Hello and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm the executive producer here, John Bates, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I'd like to thank our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Montee, without whom we wouldn't be able to do much, especially not all the content that we put forward now. I also want to thank all the people that have joined on with us since the, I would say, successful experiment that was Midsummer Night's Dream. If you're interested in that, go check out our YouTube channel, where youtube.com/Sensaku, where we performed the world's first, as far as we're aware, live stream production of a community theater performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. That sounds like a lot of qualifiers. It's more just because that's the way I talk. Please go enjoy them and give us feedback. Let us know if you'd like to see more of that in the future. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms. You can also follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films, or follow me personally at John A. Bates for all future updates and live notifications for our live stream. In the meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy.
To the booth or no? Hi, guy. Welcome to. I'm not really sure where you dropped into this conversation, and I really hope it was me going shiny and making grabby motions.
No, it was, are we at the booth yet?
That works too. Anyways, welcome to Star Wars Afterlight Skies, where, like most of the Final Show Films games, we just go live kind of whenever with whatever context is happening. And we are going to introduce our characters, reminding them to roll Destiny. And reminding me to pull up the dice pool so I can actually look at that as we roll Destiny. Okay. Cat.
I am playing Powder, the medical droid typey thing. I gave us 2 dockside to stop.
And John.
Oh, I'm John, and I'm playing Ares Artinos, the Mandalorian mercenary soldier. And I provided 1 dark side.
All right, let's keep this train going with Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Lux, Zeltron, multi-hyphenate, and oddly, I got a light side.
And William.
Hi, I am William, returning as I try and desperately try and hunt for it's desperately try and hunt for my characters. Helix, HK-53 assassination and protocol droid. And I have rolled the dark side.
All right. So with Lux, ironically, dragging the party a little closer to the light, that this is actually where we're going. Oh, and we are not joined this week by Spencer, who typically plays Sai.
A lot of people giving me that right now.
We are, however, joined by William, who didn't silence his phone.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we are joined by the ghosts of...
That's Percy, right?
No, that's Warcraft.
Oh.
That's still
Let's not have the ghosts of Warcraft join us. I don't think they'd be very good at tabletop. They seem very angry.
So,
and as I alienated part of our fan base, sorry guys. Let's pick right up. Actually, last time on Afterlight Skies, because it has been a few weeks for everyone. The party was rejoined by Lux, the Zeltron negotiator, among other things, who now very strongly works with and for the rebellion. Ares was given new recommendations by his sister, as well as a request to drop it with the honor bullshit. Um, and there was a few conversations about secrets and whispers and having a good time. There was some attempts to hunt down a lost captive, and now in the it's a spaceship, so the time cycles are handled mostly by dimming the lights, having different lights turn on, and to benefit those with circadian rhythms of what is considered a fairly standard rotation. And I don't think I pronounced circadian right. I don't care. Lux and Siolo are headed off the ship towards a meeting with Tiara, a rebellion coordinator and contact of theirs, who operates off of Crossroads, the giant ship that the group occasionally uses as a base.
Well, that's right. We were doing that, weren't we?
Yeah. Lux, is there anything you wanted to do before that? I should have asked and I didn't.
Nope.
Okay. It takes you a little while to wind through to the meeting rooms part of Crossroads. You see the occasional speckling of Crossroads' own guards, including at Tiara's door, where they step aside to let you through after confirming that you are on her list of expected company. Within, there's several more guards dressed more haphazardly, presumably members of her own unit to the extent that it exists. Not the one she brought to rescue you, Lux. Those guys are all dead.
Right.
They died kind of gruesomely.
It happens.
But yeah. Inside, there's what seems to be a fairly standard boardroom set up with a folding table, a small, all hollow, one of those glass things with the lines on them that tends to be used for tracking and communication. And Tiara, a woman wearing what you'd expect to be fairly cumbersome, floofy skirts with a large gun at her side, so it turns over. Ah, you're here.
Howdy. What's going on?
So I need to. I know you're doing some stuff of your own, but.
Yeah.
Okay. According to some of my contacts, your group was snooping around. Are you trying to test your mic, John? Okay. Snooping around trying to find info on a guy. And probably find that guy. She kind of looks around. How likely is it you can stop that?
Okay, I need to be reminded who we were looking for. I legitimately don't
Ares
remember.
wanted to go after...
Oh, yes, that's right.
Okay. Sorry.
That depends. Why?
It's classified exactly, but what I can say is that he has information that's important, and it's important to our cause that information be delivered in full as accurately as possible, and as few people knowing what he or even what kind of thing he knows is possible.
I don't see why we can't get both at the same time, she says. She sort of sits down. We get
Because
the information
typically,
from him, and then
when we throw our spies to the people who want them dead, we don't keep our spies, and less people are inclined to risk their lives only for those lives to be thrown away by the people they're risking them for.
but that's the joy of the situation, you see. The person who wants this who wants this spy doesn't have anything to do with the empire, or what doesn't have anything to do with the rebellion. Sure, I'm on the same ship as them, and so is Sai here, but this person has a very personal reason that has nothing to do with the rebellion. So here, okay, I understand your point, and I understand the value this person offers. Here's what I would say. The person who wants our mutual acquaintance has the potential to be a very useful blunt force that we can throw at the empire for a variety of reasons. Distractions, legitimately causing damage if we need it. There are a number of tactical uses for that. The question is whether those uses are more valuable than what we will eventually get out of a guy who was embedded in a in part of a slaving ring that, let's be honest, no longer exists. Yes, the information that he has is still very useful. I understand that. But once that information is taken out, how much use is he going to be for us at that point?
It's not my call.
I know it's not your call. I am making this point so that hopefully that that argument could be with the new information that perhaps those who make the call may not have can be presented.
Sai will speak up at this point, clearing his throat. Well, I, for one, am deeply uncomfortable with the premise that our allies are being attacked and that we would simply abandon them for more convenient tools.
Wars aren't won by being nice.
It doesn't seem to me that this crew, this team, is likely to help us win such a war.
I've made far more out of far less. I see a lot of use here. That said, if we have to let this Mandalorian go, that's fine. I
I'm
think
not
that
asking
here-
you to let him go. It's not really the question. I'm just
Okay.
asking you to stop looking. Think you can understand why we don't want you to find him at this point.
I can. The concern is he's gonna get found. Whether I'm there to sort of guide the situation or not depends on and potentially twist it to our advantage depends on whether we're looking. If we stop, then Ares goes off and finds him on his own. And if he's as good as I think he is, he could very easily find him before we get that information, and he won't give a shit.
You have other priorities. Things
right.
that are more urgent. Let us handle our own.
All right.
And if you want to convince Ari, is just tell him that you'll do this next. Just give us
My
some time.
impression is that he's been told we'll do this next a lot. The last person apparently on this ship who was told we'll do this next enough times basically told everybody on the ship to fuck off and then went off on his robotic own. But I will try that. I'm just letting you know what the situation I am going into is.
I understand. Sai will sort of again speak up. Well, for the safety of our allies and for other reasons, I suspect there are other potential concerns.
Okay.
Do we really want Eric is to be going after our allies? Is that the sort of treatment we show those who have actually done things for this cause?
As I mentioned a little earlier, last episode, we don't always work with the nicest people, and you do not necessarily go undercover in a slaving unit without being fairly comfortable with the concept of slavery. I feel moderately okay that once the information that Yarek has gets to the right people, whatever happens to him after that is cool with me. I mean, I haven't had a conversation with the guy, to be fair. I could be entirely way off. But
TRL sort of, well, that's just a request. See if you
yes,
can. That's
I will
not
see what I can do.
the main reason I called you here, and it looks like I got to the problem just in time.
Okay.
You're aware of the situation on Ionis, correct?
Yeah.
It was in the things I sent you that Lex.
Yes, I had to take a moment and remember which planet was Ionis, but yes.
Ionis was Praz's.
Yes, I'm aware.
Cool.
Yeah.
I barely was because he named it halfway through that arc.
No, yeah, that's why I was like Ionis. Is that Is that the Twilight? No, that's not Ryonos. That's Ryloth. Is that the? No. Okay, yep, I'm on it.
Yep.
Yep, I am aware of that situation, and that it is in the possession of a psycho. That planet is in possession of a psychopath.
Seems like it's not the only one. And she'll sort of slide a small data packet over to you.
Okay.
3 planets over in the same system, there's a small tangentially associated mining colony. Until now, we were receiving regular reports from them. And now we're not. The pattern is pretty similar to what happened when we lost contact with Ionis. It's a livable world for most species, but there's some gas mines and other resources mined on the planet, typically used in weapons and armaments.
Okay.
We suspect that she's there setting up whatever is going on in there. It's a fresh lead, but it won't be for very long. To that end, and she kind of just like sort of hits a comlink. You can ask him to come in now. And Helix, you have been waiting in the other room.
Mm-hmm.
With a slightly awkward looking small, it seems like her main job is to be a tech person in sort of an adjacent room. She attempted small talk like once and then got really uncomfortable. But her comm sort of fizzes with sound. And she's like, oh, yeah, you'll be meeting up with your group now. And gestures towards the door.
So with the metallic clanking sound of the droid's slow, like Terminator walk into the room, he kind of steps into the light of the room and recitation. I am an HK-53 assassination and protocol
I
droid.
know. Hey, Helix.
Agitated statement. Must you always cut off my introduction?
You don't need to introduce yourself to me. We know who you are. Well, I know who you are. Sai doesn't know who you are, but Sai's probably better off not knowing who you are. I'm kidding. Yes, I have to. It's fun. How are you doing?
We've hired you some extra help.
Awesome. How are you doing?
Again, that speaks to the urgency of the matter.
Right.
You can't necessarily afford to wait around several weeks to try and find a guy.
Okay. So here's my question for you. Is Yarrick going to be anywhere near this?
Nope.
That's the wrong answer. Yes, Yarrick is going to be very near this situation, whether he is or not.
Sure. Yarrick is going to be helping out.
Oh, look. Yaris went to, what's the name of this planet again?
I didn't give it to you yet because it's in the planets section of my notes that I never open. Enor 7.
Yeah, that place. Enor 7.
Diagnosis. To answer your question, I am operating at 100% efficiency.
Awesome. All right.
And Sai, this mission could use your help, but we have other things, and an agitated direct commander of yours screaming about the superiority of his own campaign. What are you gonna do? So I will sort of... As I've mentioned, I'm not exactly confident that this group is of any use to the rebellion, or that they are capable of being pointed in any direction for an extended period of time. I think my skills
you
would be
too.
better used elsewhere. Tiaras are like, all right, we're switching out our not exactly subtle rebellion mole on the Nasari, I guess.
Sounds about right.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Observation. In its place, you receive an assassination droid and a fire ship.
Sai looks like he's about to say something about how he can totally shoot things too, but thinks better of it. And scene transition. A little while later, Helix and Lux arrive back at the Nasari.
How long were they gone? Or how long was Lux gone?
Lux would have been gone about 20, 30 minutes, and it's pretty late. I think everyone else was probably asleep.
Okay.
Well, I guess Powder doesn't sleep, but yeah.
Cool. I guess I'm.
Somebody else say something. Sorry.
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
just spent the first
Apparently I'm
40
asleep,
minutes
so I-
playing, and I have to.
Sorry, I am. Yeah. I was gonna try and segue. So, as or before they arrive back, Powder, what are you up to?
Powder would probably just be like watching the footage again.
Okay.
Because at this point, you know, they're a little bit unsure of what to do with their existence. So yeah, it's just
Yes,
watching the footage over and over. And
there's definite a few locations you've identified. You know this footage is really old, possibly even a century or so.
Mhm.
You know that, at least according to this footage, someone has reset your brain again and again to try and stop you from being a killing machine.
Yep.
You know that you definitely medically dissect people. Or did.
And I know that the planet is on Mandalore, or at least some of the memories are on Mandalore.
One of the things that was seen definitely took place on Mandalore.
Yeah.
Ares was able to identify where, but not necessarily timestamp it, as the building he recognized was pretty old.
Right.
And Ares, what are you up to?
Waiting.
Okay.
Waiting for information. That's so.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's late at
mean,
night, so.
It's not necessarily information, but Helix shows up on your ship. Or at your ship.
Okay. Hello, Helix. How you doing?
Great. Commentary. It seems that the entire group has taken quite a bit of travel since I have last met.
It's been a while.
Oh, you guys know each other. Great. This is good. That makes this easier.
Helix and I are old pals. Know each other from way back.
So are Helix and I.
Mostly from killing people in a variety of different and exciting manners and locales.
What a coincidence.
Anyone not
Diagnosis.
know Helix from that specific set of
I mean, that feels
interactions?
like the only way that you get to know Helix and live to meet to hang out with him later.
Mhm.
Diagnosis. Has the Nasari gotten more damaged since I was last here?
Less, we repaired the skin.
No. They let you idiots let Powder fly the ship.
I mean, yeah. Apparently, it wasn't the first time someone let powder fly the ship, so there's that.
No, yeah. Apparently, you fixed it. Then you let Powder fly the ship again.
That was mostly a response to Sai and Corey saying that Powder was in charge of the ship. So I said, fine, Powder, you can fly it. And then results occurred as expected.
Yep. All right. So I've got news. I will let you interpret it whether it is good news or bad news. Sai's gone off to do something else for the time being. And we might have a lead on your guy.
Already have a lead.
We had a lead.
Nope.
Am
We
I
still do.
missing something here?
He doesn't
It's
have
been
any
too-
money. He doesn't have any way off this station.
Mhm. Right. Those aren't leads.
And we
What
know
is your definition of the term lead?
We know he needs money, so he's going to be, and he has a very limited set of skills.
Yes.
So the amount of things that he can do on this station are very limited.
Uh-huh. Those
Therefore,
aren't leads. That's just a
you and I have a
parameter
very,
to
very
search
different-
for leads.
apparently, different definition of leads. Regardless, what is it that you think you have?
So, having talked with contacts, it would appear that he has managed to get onto a ship that is heading towards Einar 7.
What ship?
I did not get that information. All I know is that that's the planet that he's headed for.
What ship and how? Because again, as previously stated, he doesn't have any fucking money.
He's working on the ship as far as I am aware. What ship? As I said, I don't know exactly what ship.
So you know his destination, but not what ship.
Yes.
How does that work?
I'd like to introduce you to the concept of information networks where people don't provide complete stories.
Tell you what, put me in a room with your contact, and I'll see if I can't get any more information out of him.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I am not putting you in the room with a somebody who is an information gatherer for the rebellion. We know where he is or where he's going.
You think you know going. You don't know where he is.
We know where he's going.
You have any proof or anything? Because right now, the most solid proof I've got is that I saw his fucking ass in an arena. Well, I didn't see him. Somebody else did, and then warned him off.
Mm-hmm.
Only a few hours ago. So you're telling me that in the span of a few hours, he's managed to weasel his way onto another ship, heading another place? I want some fucking proof of some kind. So I'm not leaving this fucking station without that proof.
The ship is leaving for for somewhere.
Fine.
If you want to chill on this, station, waiting for proof, that's fine.
Aries, I want you to roll me a tactics roll. So intelligence warfare.
What difficulty?
Difficulty of 1. Hunting people is kind of what you've been doing for quite a while.
An advantage. No successes or failures.
Okay, with no successes or failures. Okay, with an advantage, I would say You are aware that unless he's bone stupid, he's not going back where you saw him.
Yeah.
And he's going to try and pivot his plan as dramatically as possible.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
The GM is, you rolled an advantage.
Yeah.
The GM's just going to highlight information you know,
Right.
not necessarily give
Yes.
you new ones.
Yep. That is something that I understand. It's the request for proof.
Absolutely. Which for underground information networks is almost never a thing.
Yeah.
So that is the best information that we have. It is a lead. It is a solid lead.
It's not a solid lead, it's hearsay. You've got video footage or something of him getting on a ship, then it's a solid lead. But bumfuck number 1 saying bumfuck number 2 went to planet bumfuck is not a lead. Get me some video evidence. Give me some footage of some fucker getting on a ship.
I don't work for you.
No, you don't.
You needed information.
If you're asking to provide information, I expect something a little bit more.
You
than
needed
hearsay.
You need information because you have been quite useful to the people on this ship who I care about. I agreed to get that information. And because, let's be honest, and because I would like to use you in the future, I agreed to find that information as a courtesy. This is the best information that we have. Because of a variety of reasons, including the fact that there are vetting concerns and security. Frankly, I don't know you and the rebellion doesn't know you. We're not going to put you in a room with the person who provided this information. I can tell you that the person who gave me this information considers the lead to be very solid. And I trust that person. If you don't want to go with, that's fine. I'm not even necessarily that inclined to go there. I've got shit on Ionis I need to deal with. But I'm willing to go there because this is important to you. And again, I think to be transparent, it would be very useful to have you owe me a favor.
What do I know about Einor 7?
You can roll me a. Let's make this astrogation difficulty 4. What do I know about a
spin to light side?
Sparsely populated planet in the middle of nowhere?
Light side. Failure and a threat.
Failure and a threat? You don't think it's, like, dangerous, but you've also never heard the name before, so that may or may not be an accurate assessment of the danger level of the planet.
So where the fuck is Einor 7, and what the fuck is going on there then?
So Einor 7 is, and this is actually sort of how we got this information. We are dealing with, our main focus is Ionis. There is, I don't know if you are familiar with the name Akitoris.
I've seen it around.
Akitoris is a batshit fucking crazy vice admiral in the military. I've had some very, very brief interactions with. Believe me, she's nuts. But
You
because
probably did hear the story about the vice admiral who strapped.
Yeah.
That was probably explained to you and Corey
Yeah.
about why the ship was so fucked up.
right.
Like,
But so she is currently in control of several different planets, systems. Ionis being one, Ionis 7 apparently being another of them. Aaron, my memory retention today is off the
That's fine.
really sideways for some reason. So if I get any of this wrong from what you have literally just told me, correct me.
Sure.
But my guess. So Taurus is a little bit of a wild card, as you might have guessed from me calling her batshit crazy. However, she's also very successful, so she gets to hire whoever the fuck she wants. My assumption is that your Mandalorian frenemy,
Enemy.
sure, enemy, sure,
No sure
is
about it.
sure means I'm agreeing with you in this case. The first time was, yeah, okay, whatever, but yes, enemy. Is looking for somewhere that they can ensconce themselves inside that has a certain level of protection. An Imperial squad would be a good example of that, especially someone who might be willing to hire outside of the bureaucratic box that is the Empire. We're going there essentially to fuck shit up. Again, I'd rather be on Ionis, but this is at least a place to start. That's what we know. Lux is a terrible person.
Question for the GM: do I have any particular orders regarding Aki Taurus herself from the rebellion? If you kill on sight.
So the rebellion is super cagey about everything when they hire assassins. They didn't really tell you much other than Lux knows who you're pointing your gun at.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can take from Lux's statements that the crazy vice admiral is probably on the list of people they would like dead.
Just to get the question into the air, then. Theoretic query: would this Aki Taurus be considered a kill-on-sight target?
Not necessarily. See, there's a whole lot of stuff going on with her, and yes, dead is good, but she's also a high-ranking member of the Imperial military. I would love to get inside that head and see what sort of things I can pluck out of it.
Query: if you declared that she was, to use your quote, to use your terminology, batshit crazy, what do you expect to find within such a head?
Tactical information about a lot of she's involved in a lot of projects. Knowledge of those projects would be useful. Yeah, when I say batshit crazy, I mean she will do stuff that normal, sane, rational people wouldn't do. in terms of tactics and taking risks and things like that. I don't know if she is legitimately cracked.
Offensive question. Do I detect a hint of jealousy?
Oh no, a hint of admiration. But yeah, we need information from her. And then once that's done, it would be quite a nice blow to take her out.
Conclusion. Bag and tag then.
Basically.
I grab my helmet, put it on, and walk off the ship.
Okay.
You're walking away from the one lead you have.
I'm going to go see if I can find any evidence that that he actually left the station.
All right, sure.
Because somebody saying somebody said that somebody saw something is not a lead. At least not to Ares. Me.
Yeah, Ares is very straightforward. Got it. Ares is metagaming. Got it.
Ares is not metagaming. Lux literally came in and said, "Hey, so somebody I know told me that your guy went someplace else, and we're gonna go there."
Okay,
And that's
you're
it.
trying to investigate this.
Yes, I'm trying to investigate the claims that have been made to me.
How would you like to go about that?
First I want to go up to the. I want to go to. Is there any sort of docking authority?
No, not that would tell you anything.
Oh, no,
like,
not
obviously they have docking authority.
Yeah.
They're not gonna.
I'm not concerned about people telling me things. I'm concerned about if there is a docking authority.
To some extent, yes.
Okay.
They keep track of who goes in and out in what ways.
Yes.
But that's not publicly or even privately available information.
That's not relevant for my request. My question is there? And that is the answer.
Yes.
So I'm going to go find. I assume that I have worked with hackers before.
Sure.
Work out of this place.
Yeah.
So I would like to go find one of them.
Easy enough. You know a few people, and you can find someone who you know.
Mechanically, what I would like to do is acquire a favor obligation in order to see if I can't get somebody to check and see if any ships have recently left.
You can roll me. Given the specific context, I want you to roll me first to think of the other thing that you might find interesting. Roll 20 is frozen again. Roll me a negotiation roll. Roll difficulty 3 for seeing if you can talk someone into acquiring a favor. More successes is good. Failure would be a failure.
2 successes, 4 threat.
Okay. You can find someone who would be willing, hesitant, but willing to do it. It's going to be a 15-point obligation because you're essentially asking someone to sign their death warrant against the people no one wants to piss off and no one knows who they are.
Yep, we'll take it.
Okay. However, before you make that commitment, I want you to roll me a... What's a good know your friends roll in this system? Remembering basic details of your allies.
There isn't really one.
Vigilance, maybe?
You know...
Also, I've literally...
I'll make this a cool roll difficulty 2 with a boost die because you've been specifically asked to help on this a few times. Also, I can't roll anything right now because my roll 20 is just
Flat dice. Flat roll.
okay. You do have that pause moment of, wait, I know someone who has an inexplicable access to crossroads.
Oh, yeah.
You also know a hacker, but more important, who is currently on your ship and gave you this information. More importantly,
I know
yeah.
Lux is a hacker. I've known Lux for a day.
Yeah. But yeah, thinking about it, you do know someone who has inexplicable access to crossroads. Yeah. That if that's something you're gonna
I'm gonna get on the comlinks and call Powder.
Okay. Powder, you receive a call.
Powder, I've got a question.
Yes?
You always know where Crossroads is.
It seems that way. Yes.
Do you know why? Or how?
No.
Would you be opposed to having somebody figure that out?
No.
Do I think off the comm checking with my new hacker friend? What does he think about checking to see, sort of looking into the details of a droid instead?
Looking into the details of a droid, if the droid is not actively trying to kill me at the time, sure, I can hack a droid for you instead.
Back to Powder. I've got a friend who might be able to figure that out for you.
Okay.
Want to go meet me?
Yes.
All right. Powder, as you're leaving your room, you notice something stuck sort of on the side of the door.
All right. I will look at said thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there a specific wording for this? It is a fairly short thank you letter from Sai, expressing that he hopes none of the group gets themselves killed, that he appreciates working with you, and that it seems he's going to be going on to doing other things. It also includes, and I swear this was decided before the game started, contact information for a hacker who he thinks would be able to help Powder with her memory and cognitive weirdness.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Sai.
As I
There you are.
completely fail at this thing called railroading the party so badly.
Oh, it's amazing. Powder will take a data pad with the video on it and that note and put it into their stomach, for lack of a better word.
You've got a backpack in your stomach.
Yep.
Kind of like backpack.
Yes. Put it in the backpack and then head out to meet Ares.
Okay. You have 3 potential hacker options.
That's amazing.
The guy you don't know, the guy you don't know but Ares knows, the guy you don't know but Sai knows, and the lady you do know.
Yep.
I'm good at this.
I mean, they were gonna ask Lux, but this works too.
I mean, depends on how comfortable you are with random strangers rummaging around on your fundamental core memories. But yeah.
Hey, you know, at this point.
All right. Eventually, Powder, you meet up with Ares, and Ares, are you going to say anything once you're in person, or are we just cutting to...
Right, Powder. So, here's what we're looking for. Trying to see if your connection to this place goes any deeper than just knowledge of it. Maybe if you've got some sort of backdoor access to their navigation or docking or whatever sort of systems they've got, monitoring ships coming in and out, the kind of stuff that would where it is all the time. So, what do you feel?
I'm willing to try.
Oh, God knows this way. If you want to go talk to him. I will powder on then.
All right.
Cool.
Powder, Ares, you arrive back, whatever. At it's sort of a dingy underbelly, even by the standards of the ship. There's clearly rusted pieces. It's near the outdoor edge of the ship. There's random bits of things hanging off the wall. The place is clearly fairly unclean. There's a man, Twi'lek, with sort of bluish green skin and fairly long leg who sort of looks over. Okay, what do you want exactly out of it?
Right, so this one here has the ability to know where at all times. We want to know what that is and why.
Okay.
And if this leaks out, I just sort of let him take in the end of that sentence.
If this leaks out, you don't owe me a favor anymore.
Yeah.
Asian droid, you know.
All right, get it over here.
Them. And I'll lead Powder over.
Yeah, the thing I'm digging into. Got it. Right, let's crack it open. See what's in there. He pulls out a few cables and various plugs and Powder, it's at the very least uncomfortable. This person is rough and uncaring in a way that you're probably not terribly used to. Like, Corey gets distracted, obviously, and Lux can be systematic, and Rerun is just generally aggressive. But they all actually, see you as a person when they're helping work with you. Right, let's open it up, see what's in here. And now the random NPC that I didn't make gets to make a computer's roll. Fortunately, there are a lot of templates for these guys. So he would have a... Just for contrast, Jeremy, what's your computer's role?
2 yellows and 2 greens with a whole lot of special stuff because of feats or talents.
Yeah,
Removing
let's just say he
dice
doesn't have that much. And I'm being a little generous on what I'm giving him over the standard hacker template.
For reference, I have 3 yellow in computers.
Yeah. Look, no one who's good enough really needs Ares' favor.
Hey,
I mean, except for Lux. But that's not the point.
Way to insult Lux.
No one who's good enough.
Let's be clear. Lux doesn't need Ares' help. Lux is trying to facilitate it, but ultimately, okay, 3-person crew for now, that's fine.
Powder, are you resisting? Are you actively helping?
I will try to actively help.
Okay. He will get a boost die for that. That's good for him.
Because Powder wants to know as badly as anyone else. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
So things start sparking. Powder, you take two strain damage as this guy is just sort of tearing in to get his slicing equipment where he wants and sort of needs it for this to work. And you're trying to be helpful. You're trying to make sure all the ports are accessible. But there's a little bit, ow! That was unexpected and kind of hurt. And he seems to pay almost no mind to that.
When it hurts, can I punch him?
Yeah, sure. That's going to be a unarmed melee attack, which I believe is your brawl. It's definitely
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm mid.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, there was no difficulty
Yep.
on that.
This diff 2 is a melee attack.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot to hit the buttons.
No, it's fine. But yeah, difficulty 2. He's not really wearing anything that would change that.
Aw. That's 2 failures and an advantage.
He sort of ducks as your needle arm comes at his side. He looks to Ares. Hey, I'm holding up my end of the deal. Well, if your thing's not under control...
First of all, they're not mine, they are their own. Second of all, if you'd stop fucking up, it wouldn't happen.
Hey, it's not an easy system. This isn't just droids being droids and having complex stuff going on in their pseudo brains. This is really deep code that I'd be surprised if it is voluntary access to with extent and of modifications made since the data was initially inlaid. I can see what you're looking for, but if you want me to get to it, it's gonna be a lot easier if I'm not being attacked. And that was my condition.
I haven't attacked you.
Ares, you remember that this guy's condition was as long as the droid isn't attacking me.
I believe he said that as long as it wasn't being
that, it's fine.
Killing him, trying to kill him, I think was the exact word.
You understand the intent behind the statement and how this contradicts it to some extent.
I just sort of fix him with my Mandalorian masked stare and we'll go on.
All right. Gonna try the roll again. I should probably penalize him for repeated rolls, but I don't feel like it.
I mean, he's already bad enough.
Yeah, that is the other thing. We're going to actually, as that continues, cut back to the ship where Lux and Helix are.
Yep.
Just to confirm, over the next few hours, Powder and Ares are gone from the ship. Ares left first and Powder left shortly afterwards.
So
Query. I suppose at this point is when 2 individuals left alone with no particular business to get down to commence in small talk, I believe.
usually, yeah. I mean, I've got stuff to do. I haven't been on. I mean, I came back to the ship like what, 8 hours ago at this point.
More or less.
But I have to go through and fix all the ridiculous security holes in the software that they have left just by standard operating. And,
Praz has somehow managed to tape his password on the underside of his desk.
oh, for God's sakes. And, the virus is grabbed by downloading illegal holovids off torrent sites and shit like that I'm sure has happened. But yeah, so what have you been up to in this time since I last saw you?
Recitation. I believe my total kill count has risen by at least an integer of 10, if not an extra. There may be a couple extra zeros.
Nice. Very nice. So how did you run into... Actually, that's a good question. While I'm doing this, tap, 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 tap. So what do you know about our Mandalorian friend?
Observation. I know that Ares Artinos is aggressive, assertive, especially when something personal is on the line, and very thorough when it comes to attempting to find his personal objective. I don't think I've seen someone turn over a bar quite so quickly, even before the bar fight broke out.
I was gonna say, I mean, honest assessment.
Make me just a computer's roll as you're running through the system.
Okay.
Difficulty 2, but I'll give you a boost die because you initially designed these.
Okay. 2 boost die.
And beyond our jokes about internet security, is there anything specific you might be looking for in the system?
No, just doing a sweep of logs, see if I can see where the ship has been. Basically, she is using the ship to get an update on what all's been going on with the
Fair enough.
While doing your general IT health update.
Yep. Let's see. There's no setback, so that's not a concern. That's not a concern either. All right. So.
Puh!
All the successes?
Yeah. All of the successes and 2 advantages.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so
yeah.
That's okay. So honest question. Let's say I do convince him to tag along. Is it even a good idea?
Observation. Once he learns that his target is in fact not on Einor 7, he will likely leave explosively.
As long as he's within the vicinity of several Imperial people when he does so, that sounds like a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Notation, he will also recognize that you are the one who lied to him.
Oh, I mean, well, yeah, that's fine. It is what it is. Yeah,
Recitation.
He'll try and kill me. I know.
Recitation. I have not seen a man turn over a bar faster before the bar fight broke out.
I heard you.
Observation. I reiterate to you that my kill count has risen by at least 2 integers. I do not want that man as an enemy.
I don't want him as an enemy either. But I have plans. I have thoughts on how to do this. Many of those thoughts...
At this point, you're running through and you find this weird blog entry that is really just the words unlimited breadsticks in all caps. And then in smaller letters, unlimited breadsticks was apparently not the password. And you're trying to figure out what that even means. when you notice that you rolled an exceptional success, so you notice that over what seems to be a encrypted sub channel in the systems, there's a call coming in. You don't recognize the signature, but you're familiar enough with these systems to receive it if you want to. You know it's not intended.
Audio only.
Okay.
I really quick, I frown. Put finger to lips.
Helix turns on an audio recorder in his head.
Okay.
Bring up the audio. Hello.
Hey, and then the voice very sharply shifts. This is the commander of Clan Artinos. What are you doing on our secure line?
Well, you contacted my ship.
Where's my fucking brother, bitch?
Whoa. He's on the space station that I'm currently on, checking out a couple leads. Easy. When he comes back, I can have him call you back. Does that work?
You're one of the members of his crew?
No, I own the ship that he's been I own and now have returned to the ship that he's traveling on. I'm not part of his crew. But
well, then
yes,
I'd like to do a formal apology for all of the times he has probably tried to repossess your ship in the name of vengeance.
I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. Thank you. I appreciate the thought. No, I will let him know. Is there any message you want me to pass along, or just that you called? Sorry.
Tell him I keep telling him to play nice.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a bit of I'm a bit of a computer expert, so somebody else probably wouldn't have noticed the incoming channel I did. And when random channels that I don't know contact my ship in the midst of the current political climate, well, call me crazy, but I have to figure out what's going on.
Fair enough. I hope you understand. And why I was hostile to an unexpected.
No, I get it. I get it. You're cool. No harm done.
Yeah. And she'll log off at that point.
I turn it off as, well, I am liking this clan more and more. The more they insult, yell at me, and...
She was slightly, very vaguely more justified than her brother, but yeah.
So, regardless, I have plans. I honestly think I can facilitate this in a way that serves my purposes and serves Ares' purposes. I just have to do a little pushing and maneuvering and put the people in the right directions and give them the little pushes that they need. Ultimately, I have a feeling Yarick will end up on 9 or 7.
Query. Is honesty off of the table?
Regarding Yarick? And Ares?
Retort to Ares.
Yes, at the moment, yes. As far as... Look, I opened a door. That door can't be closed at the moment. I can backtrack out of that door and go to a different room in the building, but there is no... Oh yeah, no, I was kidding about the whole thing. Oh, but you want to help? No, that's not going to work. However, if I get him headed towards, if I get him just on this ship long enough for me to go to fucking 9 or 7, and I push and prod my allies in the correct direction to get Yarrick on Einar 7. Once we get the information, then it's all good. Everything works out. Ares gets to murder his enemy. The resistance gets what they want. The Empire still gets fucked without courtesy of a reach around, and it all works out beautifully. And nobody need be any the wiser.
Observation: there are so many holes in this plan.
No, there aren't. There are
Speaking
directions
of holes,
there are directions that this can go wrong. Those aren't holes. Also, I feel a little insulted that you don't think I can pull this off.
There's a speaking of.
yeah. So somewhere in that scene that is dramatically appropriate to segue, the camera cuts back. Oh, okay, the end of that scene. The camera cuts back to the other two. He's working for about 5 hours. Just extensively. Powder, you're not shocked again. He seems to have found that fuse and gotten that under control.
Good. That means I haven't punched him again.
8 hours. He's like, okay, I'm gonna level with you. I'm good, and I am willing to do what a lot of the people who are as good as I am aren't. I'm willing to bite the feeding hand for the right price. But there's a limit to everyone's capabilities. This is ancient tech. It's been corrupted, and it seems like a good portion of the files are missing or deleted. I don't know how or why. If I were to completely disassemble the droid and just use the parts, I could get you your data. But that's really the only way I can think to go about it at this point.
So here's what we'll do. We'll fix everything back up the way it was when you found it. And I won't shoot you for being insulting to my friend. And we'll part ways.
Fair enough. He starts fiddling with things, and he's gonna roll a mechanics check to see if he survives.
I like the way that was put.
So, in fairness, that is not his dice pool because he's just trying to fix some injuries.
I was about to say, this man is dead.
We're gonna give him a setback die for being a complete sociopath, though.
I am super excited by this.
All right, Powder, you
terrible.
heal 2 strain damage.
Sweet.
Should bring you back up to full.
Yep. Back to normal.
Yeah. Okay. He'll sort of give your chassis a pat. There. Everything's back the way it was.
Can I tell if it's actually back the way it was?
Computer's difficulty 1, it's your own system.
Can I tell if everything's back to the way it was based on the way he made that statement? Just fine. Like, is he now?
Cool checks are for insight. So cool difficulty 2.
I got 2 successes and an advantage.
Powder.
1 advantage.
Yeah, everything's he put everything back. Ares, he's surprisingly hard to read, but he's definitely afraid of you.
Yeah. Right.
Powder will do it. You'll see Powder's eyes kind of do the swirly thing, and then he'll turn to you and say, Everything seems in order.
Well then, I better try our luck elsewhere. Thank you for your time and the space. I say, indicating where I'd been staying.
Mm-hmm. Sort of gives you a short nod. And as you guys leave, you hear an electrified door or closing and locking behind you.
I turn and through it I call, "It's cute that you'd think that would stop me," and continue.
You're pretty sure it's airtight sealed.
Yeah, they probably couldn't hear me, but the statement was.
But the
made.
thought, the statement still stands.
It's the petty thought that counts. Yep. Cool.
All right. Well, that didn't work. Sorry about that, Powder.
It is okay. I believe Lux may be able to help.
Think so?
She is very good.
All right, well, let's go that way then.
I also trust her more.
Fair enough. Head back to the ship.
Yep. All right. So the group of you are back on the ship.
Lux,
Yo,
got you a chance to find the actual good evidence that you're looking for. That we're looking for.
okay.
So.
Oh, your sister called. She said play nice.
Yeah, she always does. Anyways.
Yeah.
So Powder has the ability to know where this station is at all times. Right?
Uh-huh.
Assumedly.
That's what that is my recent revelation, yes.
Assumedly, that is tied into something to do with how this station tracks incoming and outgoing ships.
I mean, that's conceivable. It could also be some kind of homing beacon that's on
Potentially. But if we dig
But
into
yeah,
it,
no, I see where you're going with this.
you find me what ship Yarek's on. We blow it out of the sky before it gets to wherever it's going, and then I will go and blow up whatever fucking place you want. Deal?
We'll see what we can do.
All right.
And Powder will open the backpack in their stomach and pull out the data pad.
Also, Helix, got a thing for you.
Query. Yes.
You know how there are certain fuckers who just need to die?
Acknowledgement. Of course I do.
There's a droid mechanic I'd like you to go see. I give him the address of the guy we just had.
Yes. Bye, dude. Powder will
I will give him a breakdown of the security systems that I saw in place.
Offer of recompense. 50 credits.
Is 100.
Love it. Powder will
Can we continuously pay the one who has a fairly unlimited credit card?
Yeah.
Hey, you know. Powder will hold out the data pad to Lux.
Okay.
This is all of the information that Corey was able to remove from my system. If it will help you.
That will probably help me a lot.
I did not give it to the other guy.
That is very good.
Acknowledgement. I'll finish
yeah,
it. I'll
I
finish
think I've
this job
described
before I
this
do
video
it.
enough times, but first-person point of view, lots of gruesome murders and dissections.
Yep.
You know, all that fun stuff. Clearly done by Powder. With weird text of someone talking about resetting and yeah.
Well, you are busy.
Apparently so.
At least
I
one
am
of those
also
places-
apparently quite old.
At least one of those
Yep.
places is Mandalore as well. I say indicating which segment of video that is.
All right.
Various
Well,
points to one where this person's arm is being sawed off.
I mean, it's not very
But he's
efficient,
just
but
in the building.
yeah, it's not very efficient, but it seems like Powder was at least enthusiastic. I say indicating the arm being sawed off.
Yeah.
let's take a look and see here what we can, because we've dug into this before, but let's see. I've had a little time, Let me see if I can figure out and find any metadata. Although, I mean, that might be relevant. The
And I
video
will,
might
of
be
course,
relevant,
assist.
specifically in relation to your connection to Crossroads, but I feel like that's going to be buried more in those fragments of your software.
Of course, it is just better to know what has been removed.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100%. Let's take a look and see what we can find. Because honestly, I think Lux looked into it briefly
Very
once,
briefly.
way back when in
Way back.
it was like the very start of, okay, I want to do a quick diagnostic of power. And then immediately after that, we ended up on Ionis and everything went to shit.
Yeah, I believe it was like maybe my first episode or second or something where it was because I was repeating.
If I recall correctly, the
everything.
main thing that Lux did was essentially is this getting worse? How did this happen?
Yeah.
Very basic scan.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hopefully this is not going to or anything up.
And I will of course assist if I can.
I'm going to be going deep into your subconscious. It might be best if you shut down for a brief period.
I trust you.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything.
And Powder
I
will
just
shut down.
want to, just in case I were to for example, trip a personality switch and you suddenly go homicidal.
Yeah, exactly. Little things. See, Powder didn't care so much about the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Powder actually likes Lux.
So yeah, I am going to start digging deep into into Powder's, like a super deep dive into the program.
So, okay, that's fair. Is there just lay out for me specifically what your primary thing you're looking for is?
The primary thing I am looking for is basically, because that will serve current purposes as well as legitimately be a help for Powder. I'm looking for Powder's connection to Crossroads.
Okay. So it's going to be let's see. Difficulty 3, and there's 2 encryption setback die. I don't know if you can remove one or both
I believe yes, I can remove 1 setback die per ranking codebreaker, which I only have 1 currently. From checks to break codes or decrypt communications, and it also decreases the difficulty of those checks by 1.
I'll say this is close enough to that to count.
Okay, so it's 1 setback and difficulty 2.
Yep.
And let me see, and amount of time needed to complete it is reduced by 25%. If that
it's still going to take a while, but that is good to know.
In that
I am not defending the computer system against intrusion.
I was about to say.
And I am not disabling security devices. So, yep, that is it currently.
Notation. While this is going on, I have a meat bag to vaporize.
Oh, you know what? Since I don't think I will have a need to do it anymore,
make it look like
just or for any other situation. Although you never know with this group, I am going to use my sense danger ability. Once per session, I can remove 2 setback dice from any 1 skill check, so that would remove the last setback die.
All right.
I was kind of hoping that the other guy would fail hard enough that Ares killed his response, and that would have made, okay, we're leaving for Honor 7 now.
Right?
Yeah, I felt like it was fair to give him a roll.
Yeah, no, legit.
If he hadn't put Powder back together properly, Powder would have pulled out their gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real. That's good, but I could re-roll that to see if I get better.
I
have to accept the second roll, though. I believe.
That seems
It's your call. And while you contemplate that, Helix, you have a meat bag to vaporize.
I do.
In case you didn't hear, as you left, Aries went, make it look like an industrial accident.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
When you say vaporize, it just needs to be near something that could theoretically do the vaporizing and no one asks questions.
It like brings in a spare Starship engine. Just drags it to the front door. Excuse me, could you hold this for a minute?
All right. Yeah. You head through the streets of Crossroads. You know that generally fighting, even killing things, even for you, is pretty risky on Crossroads if you do it out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like fights. They especially don't like anything that would break the peace.
Mm-hmm. But fortunately, from what I understand, based on the information I've been given, this person lives on the outskirts.
Yeah, this person lives on the outskirts and also was totally willing to hack Crossroads, which, I mean, science is death warrant in another way.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. So.
Yep.
So getting my observation on, he lives on the outskirts of Crossroads, which means he's near the parts where it stops being a space station and just starts being space.
Yep.
And he's supposedly living in sort of a ramshackle abode that he's put together and put, a security door on. Mm-hmm. How protected from the outside does it really seem upon thorough inspection?
I mean, if you're going big, if you're going with something like a laser cannon or firing on the ship, that's going to be really hard because it is a very hardy ship. Mm-hmm. But if you're going more for just taking a few bolts off in just the right place.
Yeah, I just kind of want a panel to fall out just enough to vent someone who's locked in their room with no air supply to replenish.
Yeah, that's definitely doable. Yeah. Are you headed outside?
Yeah, I can spacewalk.
Okay. So you wander through the sort of rusted, cobbled together, varied outside of Crossroads, watching a few ships come in and out. But you're way too small to be spotted. Feasibly.
I'm also black, like pitch black, so I kind of blend with the void of space.
Yep. And you come to essentially the external area of what would be this guy's apartment by the address Aries gave you. Mm-hmm. You see a few bolts that you definitely could pry loose.
Okay. Turning on thermographic, does that actually penetrate the floor here? Can I see that he's there?
Yeah, I'll say in this part it probably does.
Okay. And I can confirm that he is indeed present?
Yep.
Then let's get to work.
All right. I'm going to make this a mechanics roll. Because that is the closest ability to what you're attempting.
I'm not great at mechanics, but it'll do.
Yeah.
Can I make an argument for skullduggery?
Sure, skullduggery makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Difficulty of 2.
All right, difficulty 2, skullduggery. Two successes.
So it takes you a little bit to get it, but you sort of pry these bolts off of the outside of the ship, disadhering one of the smaller patches to its hull, and just opening it so that this particular apartment suddenly just sort of swivels out into space. And in space, no one can hear you scream. But there's definitely a meat bag now flying past you due to vacuum effect.
There's like this. It's only Helix can hear it because, again, in space. But there's just this like tiny like MIDI chime that just kind of denotes job task completed.
All right.
Like, but did he?
It's the window. It's the Windows like update successful sound.
And then he proceeds to spacewalk back towards the Nasari.
I know you said spacewalk and not moonwalk. Now I picture him moonwalking.
Yep.
Assassination successful. Lux, have you decided whether or not you want to roll that?
So 3, okay. For scale wise, 3 is pretty damn good, correct?
3 is good. 5 is considered an exceptional. 5 plus is basically max, so 3 is about halfway to that.
I will take a chance on Powder's health.
This is gonna be nothing but failures.
Yeah, it's gonna be 5 failures.
No, you'll be fine. Also, 5 failures is not possible.
Yeah, not only 2 dice.
That's how hard it's gonna be.
It's going to be fine.
Shit.
With 2 successes and a threat, you definitely learned some stuff. The systems are a lot harder than you were expecting to access. Even with the documentation Powder gave you and Corey's notes, which are scattered but totally there, on what's going on. And there's a lot of bits that are missing, for lack of a better term, that you sort of have to navigate through and make inference about where these things probably should connect but don't actually connect. But it seems like it's working. So I guess it figured it out somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It basically looks like the Star Wars equivalent of you did too many clean reboots without refreshing the source data in ways that have confused it.
Right.
Yeah, but what you're able to learn is, there's some slowly shifting coordinates in the core of Powder system that it do seem to be connected to the concept of crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty heavily protected with 2 successes and a threat. I'm going to say due to the threat, you can't actually read the coordinates.
It's fine.
But you can find them. It does seem like there's some system access through here. If you wanted to continue working on it and make another roll, you might be able to.
Yeah, I'll give it another shot. Actually, get the setback or the one of the 2 setbacks back this time. An advantage.
Advantages aren't the same as successes.
Right.
Which I generally rule as you get information that's useful, but not what you're looking for. So you don't necessarily find out any more about crossroads, but you do come across another dormant monitoring system within Powder.
Oh, good.
That is keeping track and seems to be triggered by certain, for lack of a better term, stimuli. Like certain things Powder would either do or perceive might activate this dormant monitoring system.
What is this?
It doesn't seem attached to the things Corey removed.
What is this system? When it activates, what does it do?
Your best guess with what you have, you can make the inference that this probably starts a reboot sequence. Or starts something that might end in a reboot sequence.
So can I take these specific subroutines, these programs?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to extract them, because who knows what that might do. But can I copy them onto
Both
like
the
the data
crossroads
pad?
stuff and the...
Yes.
I'm just going to call it the red box because that's what it's called in my notes.
Yes. Mostly the red box at the moment, but
Okay.
the other one is important to have as well. And then what I would like to do is once I have it on something something non-essential, like put it on this data pad, transfer it to another data pad that doesn't have all this information stored, and then do a simulation of basically an activation simulation. I want to see what this does, what processes this goes through.
Sure. I'm just going to make that one computer's roll difficulty of 2.
Okay.
Because you're already in this system. You've already
Right.
found this thing. It's just
Well, there we go.
all the other stuff. But with 3 successes, 2 advantages, and a triumph, you decide that it would probably be better to sort of copy both of these things, but segregate.
Right. Yes.
If that's okay.
That was what I was trying to do. Yeah, I believe the one doesn't have anything directly to do with the other. And if this like wipes information, that's why I'm transferring it off of the original data pad. Yeah. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
2 systems, 2 separate.
So, sorry, John, you're muted.
No, I just said 2 systems, 2 separate data pads.
Yeah.
So and then you're sort of going ahead with the stuff that's in the red box.
Mm-hmm.
So the simulation takes longer than you would initially expect because you essentially run the activation and all it does is send essentially verbal code. It attaches to a UI HUD that after a moment you're able to give it a simulated version of that Powder would probably have for like the sort of basic seeing your own diagnostic stuff. Most droids have essentially an internal UI.
Right.
So you're able to simulate that, and it seems like it just sends like these messages to that internal UI. Those messages seem to be specific to the kind of stimulus it observes. But after observing about 8 instances of the stimulus it's looking for, the program starts trying to wipe the data pad. What you observe is that it doesn't wipe any core systems or operation, but it does wipe what for a droid would essentially be active memory.
Right.
Things
done,
it's
a memory wipe.
Actions taken. Yeah, it's a memory wipe. It doesn't wipe any of the sort of base levels of the system. All of this is what more instinctive stuff like data archives are still there. Just anything that would be personality or consciousness.
What kinds of commands is it sending to the HUD before the memory wipe?
It definitely matches that red text you saw before. Like, this is a bad thing. You shouldn't be hurting people. Don't do that.
It was basically a bad droid. We're now shutting you down. It was a control sequence, essentially.
Kind
If
of,
I'm
but
understanding.
it's definitely an outside. To reiterate, it's similar to the information that was on that video you saw a long time ago,
Right.
or recently for you, where the red text essentially was like, "Why are you hurting this person?
Yeah.
Don't dismember people."
So like I said, so if it picks up that Powder is behaving in a way that is outside of their programming parameters,
Mm-hmm.
then it tries to stop it, and failing that does a memory wipe. If I'm
Yeah, though
understanding.
this is not, you're pretty sure with the Triumph, this is not the core programming. This is something that was added essentially probably by some hacker to try and solve things. The core
try and
programming
fix.
is what is incentivizing Powder to kill.
Yes.
Um,
There are layers upon layers here.
yeah.
Like an
There's
onion.
3
right?
different things in here, you're pretty
A
sure.
big droid onion.
That likes to chop people's arms off, apparently, or at least did.
So
I mean,
now
I was
I'm
going to say it's an
picturing
onion because
Powder
it makes,
as an onion knight from Dark Souls, and it's hilarious.
I was going to say Powder is like an onion because Powder can make people leak fluids.
Yeah. Yep.
Your camera went out.
I like that we made such a joke that has been lost.
Not only did the camera go out, but it shifted places, so now I've got to rearrange the cameras
apologize.
again.
Apparently, I hit the thing and now it won't come back on.
Okay. So then I'm going to say we're going to break to give John and Kat a chance.
I fixed it already. But, all right, go to break. We're back.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Afterlight Skies. Our technical difficulties are resolved. We have all acquired the various kinds of poison that we enjoy. And we are returning to the world of Star Wars. Where in-universe sticks cost money because they have a really, really strong mechanical benefit.
And negative.
Yeah. Yeah, we just are really glad Helix can't use death sticks being a droid.
Right.
I can.
If anyone's curious about how those mechanics interact, watch Fuff and Forth's video on the issue after you're done here. Yeah. Lux,
So, yeah,
that is basically what you had the time to figure out as Helix, you are back on the ship. Everyone's back.
I presumably have at some point contacted Jez and said we'll be moving out with the Nasari when we head out.
Mm-hmm. You get an affirmative and a just tell me where. Yeah.
So I go ahead and wake powder up.
Okay.
However that is done.
Power button.
Sure.
Hit the brrrr for BIOS update.
Yep. All right. So
restart.
I found some information. I was not quite able to get. There's definitely. It looks like it's hooked into the coordinates specifically of. It looks like your programming is hooked into the coordinates of Crossroads. And there is perhaps some system access. I don't know. I'll have to try later and harder to try and get more details on that. But mostly it looks like it's generally just you have some kind of hook into, I don't know whether it's a beacon or what, something here. You also have, I need to show you something. And I will rerun that simulation.
Okay.
On the data pad.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not totally sure what that means.
Powder, given you know more about this than Lux does, you can give me a let's make it computers or mechanics, your choice difficulty 2 for further information. All right. With 2 successes and 2 advantages, the thing that stands out to you most is that you've had a look at the stuff Corey pulled out of your head pretty extensively. And it seems like the stimulus Lux is using sort of to get this thing moving and working is tied into first the activation of those subroutines as a prompt, and then your affirmative response to those subroutines.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I will make mention of that. That they seem to be tied together.
Okay.
Do we know, slightly off topic, how long Crossroads has existed?
A long time. I don't know. I'm assuming I don't know the details of that because that just seems like something that is probably not well publicized.
Yeah. It's not something you've necessarily gone poking into. Most of your poking has been things that don't actively help the rebellion most of the time.
Right. So yeah, the
At
short
least as
answer
long as
is
the oldest ship that made.
really goddamn old. It's conceivable that
I was created on Crossroads.
yes, we know that you're old. Well, I mean, that's conceivable. Yes, absolutely. I don't know if I would consider that the most likely option. Certainly not inconceivable. But there's also, of course, a distinct chance that somebody you were created at one point, you were brought here, or you ended up here somehow. Somebody may have installed this behavioral subroutine, which is what ultimately was the failsafe in case you went too far or murder spreed. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. And then that was installed by, yeah.
Apparently, at some point, I was a combat droid.
I don't know if combat is the correct phrase for what you did.
Powder will open the stomach compartment, pull out the gun, and put it down on a table. Close the compartment. Maybe I should not have that.
I don't think that's. I mean, you've been in combat situations and you have not.
I have not actively shot at anything.
Well, the best way to find out is by a controlled environment.
Would you like to shoot?
Practice.
Would you like to shoot at me, Powder?
The eyes will spin for a moment.
I'd like to shoot at you.
Feel free. I'm the least likely of anyone on the ship to get hurt from being shot at.
Not on the ship. But if you are willing.
I mean, the ship's really the best place for it, because if we shoot outside, then the people...
Then we will have tried to shoot someone on Crossroads, and that's not good.
Well, I mean, the target range, it is okay, as long as, like, everyone is okay with...
I mean, we can go to the cargo bay. It's a little bit more
Are you saying we don't kink shame people who like getting shot?
No, we just, like, so the specific prohibitions on Crossroads, I'd say both Ares and Lux would know this, are essentially in place to allow for duels, allow for arena fights, allow for all sorts of sanctioned violence, but to prevent, wherever possible, conflict between the various factions. We don't want the Black Sun or the Empire or the Hutts or any of the dozens and dozens of factions that are here to think it's okay to do the shooting at people thing or fight each other here. This is a neutral ground, which is, as long as they're held to it, actually pretty useful to most of those factions, because you can negotiate, you can meet with people, you can establish alliances or trade information in a place that neither of you control and isn't controlled by an outside body that's interested.
Right.
So yeah, you can find somewhere to shoot at Ares if Ares is cool with it.
I would rather this...
Or you could do it on your ship.
I would rather this take place on the ship. And the reason for that is because if something does go weird with those subroutines,
I will be contained. That
Yeah.
does make sense.
Exactly. There's less likely of you attacking someone else who's not currently on the ship, which would then cause the greater problem.
Can I be connected?
Do a thing.
Running
for
diagnostics.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was my plan. I mean, my plan is twofold at this point. One, because if you do go haywire, that'll trigger this subroutine, which will memory wipe you. Is to get a complete memory copy, and B, yes, to attach you to diagnostic equipment that, as an additional failsafe, will see what's going on, and I can monitor. And if this subroutine starts to activate, I can shut that down, but also give you the droid equivalent of a sleeper hold.
Oh, out of curiosity, are we expecting this to be a thing that fires off when powder just shoots at someone, or when
We don't
powder
know.
injures someone?
We don't know.
Will both happen?
I have done target practice without incident.
Well, yeah, we're assuming that it's a live body.
I think this should be a full combat situation, yes.
Well,
As near as we can simulate one safely for all involved.
you don't want me shooting.
I want you to be doing something in such a situation that Powder's programming can interpret as a dangerous situation.
Powder will look directly at Ares. I trust you are skilled enough to miss me.
We don't practice
Ares,
missing
not
targets.
want to use like that disruptor rifle that I'm pretty sure you stole from Praz, or the
Yeah,
bow
no, we aren't doing that.
No, I didn't.
We aren't-
I did not steal the disruptor rifle from Praz. He still has it.
Okay.
See, that's when you're not trying to miss me. You're just aiming at something that is next to me, super close to me.
You might want to use a slightly less lethal gun, would be your assessment, if you don't want to hit Powder with.
I will use the stun blaster.
That'll
That's
work.
fair.
That'll
Actually,
work.
I mean, my rifle has a. Does my rifle have a stun setting? Hang on.
And
I
then
know
while
it's
I'm watching the
different,
diagnostic equipment, I
but-
can see what subroutines are activating. If we need to modify the simulation, then
My rifle has a stun.
All right.
I just won't auto fire.
Yeah. No, I was looking at Powder's sheet, and I was looking at your thing. And I'm like, stun does at some point trickle into actual damage if you do all of the stun damage.
yes.
But
So
if I don't auto fire, I won't stun powder so hard that they die.
Yeah. Hopefully.
so let's do this. Um,
Powder will also take the grenade out of their stomach.
That'd be a good idea.
yeah, why don't you give me that, sweetie? Let's do this. I feel like the place that is probably going to be the safest to do this is the rec room.
Oh, I lied. My blaster rifle does not have a stun setting.
I can give you something with a stun.
Yeah, we have an armory that has like
Yeah.
shit we've stolen from people all over the
Yeah.
place. I assume I can get like a blaster pistol that has a stun.
Actually,
As long as we're not shooting toward the armory.
okay, so here's what I would like to do, Aaron. I would like to I'd use the blood room, but that's too small and contained of a setting to have a really accurate combat situation. Does the rec room area, can that be shut off? Like, is there a door here that could be
You know what I'm gonna say? You are able to move tables and that pool table that inexplicably is on the map and other stuff in such a way that you can seal off whichever area you would prefer.
Okay. So yeah, take place in there because I didn't want anything near any critical systems.
Yeah.
No engine, nowhere near the engine room. Otherwise, room 13 would be fine.
Right,
Yeah.
and all of the people who have those bedrooms are no longer on the ship.
I mean, one of those rooms is probably my room now.
Maybe.
Just whichever one doesn't get shot.
I mean, there are also bedrooms like up on next to the bridge.
Yeah, on the top floor, there's many a
So
bedroom.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. We will say you find a place that meets all of the I'm not going to make you shoot your ship, guys.
Okay.
I stand at a medium distance from Powder. My shield and a blaster pistol.
I am going to shut and lock all of the other rooms so it is just that room.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to monitor this situation.
So Lux is rolling me difficulty 2 computers.
Yeah.
Powder's going to roll me an attack. Ares is going to determine distance and what shielding you're using, what the difficulty of that attack is for Powder.
Because Powder's attack is going to be difficulty 2 with 3 setback.
I'm going to be monitoring this remotely from the cockpit.
Okay.
Right,
specifically Powder's subroutines and that sort of thing. So, like, if I can attach basically a Wi-Fi attachment, sort of.
Wi-Fi is not possible, but you can run a thin cable up the stairs.
Yeah, some kind of remote attachment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Duct tape a communicator plugged into a port on her that I can use to send commands through.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right.
So what am I rolling? Computers difficulty 2?
2. And Powder, you're rolling for that attack.
And I will be shooting back, but intentionally missing.
All right. That's not difficult.
3 failures.
Powder or Ares. Powder shoots, and you just put your shield up, and Powder hits the shield dead on. But
this might be defeating the purpose of this. I say to myself as I'm blocking with.
Yeah.
Anything weird happening? I call over the comms to Lux while being shot on the shield.
I got 2 successes and an advantage.
Yeah. Lux, nothing is even remotely triggering the red box. Nothing about this encounter seems to be relevant to what it's interested in.
Nope.
All right. Stop firing, Powder. I put the I throw the shield down, and I take off the upper portion of my armor. So bare-chested.
Okay.
Pull up the blaster pistol. Now go. Now it's going to be just going to be a flat diff 2 pistol check.
No setbacks. Okay. Here we go.
Perfect time for Helix to show back up.
Jesus Christ.
A triumph and a failure. Powder misses, but Ares, she's a lot closer than you were expecting, even though you totally invited this. So you fall on your ass, just ducking.
Yeah, I mean, you get the instinctual, like it went right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Helix, the ship is locked, so you just are presumably sending the, like, hey, I'm back thing.
Hail.
Hey!
Lux, still nothing at all, even remotely.
Doesn't seem to be combat activated.
Well, hang on.
Maybe
we have one more thing to try. I step closer.
Hold on just a second. Hey, Helix. I'm gonna unlock the. I'll let Helix in. Don't go down to the rec room at the moment. I'm in the cockpit.
I step closer.
Acknowledgement. Acknowledged.
Make the same shot. Difficulty 1.
All right. Please, God, these rolls, man. There we go.
Oh boy.
2 successes and a triumph.
I take 1 point damage.
And roll on the crit table.
If Powder chooses to activate the crit, because you activate crit.
Choose to activate. Choose to act. No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say.
You want to activate your crit.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's the whole point. Was we're trying to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make this work. So yeah.
I lose my free maneuver until the end of the.
That's not.
Aries, you were definitely fairly stunned by that one.
Look down at my. Yeah, I'm hamstrung, so you shot me in the leg. Just. I mean, I was trying to have you hit Cinemass, but I guess it's good enough. Anything?
Lux, no, you're fairly certain that at this point, both of you who are familiar with this, so Lux and Powder, sorry, okay. Corey's not here anymore, can inference that Powder's initial observation was correct. This is attached specifically to those, or rather, this only starts looking for stuff under the condition of those other commands that were like, hey, exotic specimen, go get some.
Powder will now immediately drop the gun and go help to heal Ares.
I've still got a critical wound, a critical injury that we never healed previously, so
yeah.
Both of them are diff 2 to heal.
Okay. And I will use the med pack to give myself my boost die. That is a success.
So yeah, Helix, you're watching on the screen Powder shoot Ares in. So basically, Ares is egging Powder on, and then gets pretty close up to her bare chest. Is like, come on, and Powder just shoots him in the leg.
And then immediately goes to heal him.
Yeah.
Observation. It seems significantly more effective when Powder was using what looked like a buzzsaw. Perhaps blasters are not her favorite tool.
There.
It's okay.
Which is fine because that's all that we were looking for at this moment. I'm going to be digging deeper into it later, but we're just making sure that if we get into a fight and they need to use their blaster, they're not going to go on a killing rampage.
Killed one of my critical injuries. You want to try the other one now?
Yep.
Query. Is a killing rampage not a good thing when you're being fired on?
The wrong kind of killing rampage.
Is it still difficulty 2 then?
Yeah, the other one's all.
Okay.
Heal!
Fine.
Be
And
healed!
two advantages. We'll get rid of
Successes,
the
pure
crit.
advantages, and a triumph. It's like I'm a medical droid or something.
Be healed! I will put my armor back on.
Fair enough.
So, that was fun and all.
Yep.
I am better at the healing.
I mean, we already knew
Yes,
that,
you are.
but, no.
So the short version, what you're looking for,
It's been
the core programming does seem to have a connection to the coordinates. It doesn't see, and you said there was some system access, correct?
There was some system access, but on that roll, you only rolled an advantage. Notice the red box and prioritize that.
Yeah. There is some level of system access. I don't know that it's going to grant video cameras, and I am concerned about whether we will be able to leave this station alive if we hack into their video feeds.
What's the time frame? What's the time frame your source said was on this Halo 7?
Inner 7.
That one.
They were already on the ship. My guess is they're probably in hyperspace already.
Observation. If they're in hyperspace, little chance of blowing them out of the sky.
Helix, actually, you're an assassin who worked extensively off of Crossroads. You would know this. Crossroads, well, barely anyone is dumb enough to actually try and access their records. But you would know that they don't keep any record of where ships are going.
No.
Hmm.
But what was being looked for was more video footage of. Yeah.
There is a place that monitors the docks.
Absolutely, there's video footage.
Yeah, so
which Lux is particularly not willing to get into because that disproves her story. So yeah.
Fine. But if we get there and Yarrick's not there, I'm going to find out who told you this pack of bull, and they will very much regret having ever done so.
You do you, dude. That's fine. We will, if he's not there, I will help you find him. Because that's what I'm doing anyways. Because again, I like the idea of a very skilled, lethal, not entirely unattractive Mandalorian owing me a favor. I like to be upfront in these kinds of dealings.
More than a favor, but sure.
So yeah, let's see what we can.
I will go plot a course to wherever the fuck this place is.
Declaration. I will return to the Jackal and meet you at Einor 7.
Perfect. You the man.
Correction. I am a droid.
It's a figure of speech, Helix.
Sarcastic remark. Okay. Of course it is.
So, eventually you end up in hyperspace. I'm just going to shortcut this because we've taken long enough to get off the stupid station anyway.
I tried.
Both of the ships have about a week until arrival time. You are going somewhere in the Outer Rim, as Lux already knew, within the same system as Ionis.
Coyote, not the Jackal.
I was kind of wondering when the ship name changed.
Similar scavenger animal.
Yep. But about 2 days into the journey, Aries, you're polishing your vibro axe and rearranging the lethal decorations in your room, planning where Yarrick's head is going to go after you murder him in ritual combat. And a note falls out of one of the little bits that's above your bed. Up. And it is a note from Siolo. Apologizing that he was a pain in the ass, just expressing hope that you will find your kill, and just to let you know he totally helped Yarick escape. I don't know if this was actually intended to be the thing Siolo said, but that Spencer ended that message with lol. And very much in hyperspace. That is where we're going to end.
Oh, God damn it, you fucking idiot, Twi'lek.
I love it so much.
I'm sorry, we need to turn around. Why?
I'm gonna have to make a stop at Ryloth, actually. Say goodbye, everybody.
So just so you know, Ryloth is not on the way.
I know.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.